Hello, hello. Hey, very good evening to you all, or good morning, or good afternoon. Welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. Great to see you all here. Today we are going to be flying a short flight in Europe from here in Frankfurt over to Amsterdam. This is the first flight I live streamed on the channel about 3 years ago. And this is, as you can see from the title, a bit of a celebratory anniversary stream. If you all haven't had enough of me, it is a scary thought that the channel has been going for 3 whole years now. Now, it's slightly different in that I didn't actually stream early in April 2020. The stream began, let me just look it up actually. Stream slightly later because I started the channel with a video called Toliss Airbus A320 X-Plane 11 Real Airbus Pilot Walk Around. There we go. And that video was the first one I put on the channel, I think that was on the 5th of April. And then we moved on from there. And I did a few of those, and then the first live stream was on this route from pretty much this stand, I think. Matteo Chewy, good to see you. Thank you very much. Matteo says happy anniversary. Matteo's been here from right at the start. And also, thank you to the many people who have watched the channel over the years, and also to those of you who've been with us since right at the beginning. Really appreciate it. So jumping into the chat on YouTube, James Atkinson, good to see you. Ron Chickpoint, I hope you're doing well. George Lumpkin says 3 years, just thinking back over what's happened in my life over that time. This channel has been a constant source of peace and entertainment. What a joy. That's really kind, really great to hear. Thanks, George. Really appreciate it. Chickpoint has got some pie ready. Excellent. Enjoy that. It's Chickpoint. Boeing 777-300ER. Enjoy. Hello to you. Thanks for coming along. Lauren V, thanks for coming and moderating, of course, as well as Matteo. Thanks for doing that very generously. And Captain Wazza, I see, has joined us. Thanks, Captain Wazza. Hope you're doing well. Captain Wazza can't stay, but has some very nice words about the channel. Really appreciate that, Captain Wazza. Captain Wazza says, can't stay, unfortunately, but wanted to wish you happy 3rd anniversary for the channel. I wouldn't be flight simming again if it wasn't for your videos and streams. Thanks so much. You're very welcome, Captain Wazza. Thank you for your support and help. Wide Rumble, thanks for coming along and moderating as well. EasyJet, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Noah, Theo, and again Matteo, thank you for being part of the channel so much, and so much support and enthusiasm from right at the start. Really appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Chickpoint, thanks so much, Chickpoint, for your $3.14 tip. Really very kind. Chickpoint says happy anniversary, have a piece of pie. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. I will indeed enjoy some pie when I get the next opportunity, but thank you so much, really kind. Thanks for supporting the channel, Chickpoint, and thank you of course for being such a big part of the community over all the time. Paparan, Lazarus, great to see you all. We've got Cole Hill, I hope you're doing well. Thank you, really appreciate it. Yeah, very kind. Yaroslav, I hope you're doing well. Denajay Suresh, good to see you again. Denajay says happy 3 years. I won't forget when I first got Microsoft Flight Simulator and had to watch your videos to figure out the A320. Helped me out so much. Wish I could catch the stream, but it's my wife's birthday and have to go out. Enjoy your wife's birthday, Danajay, but thanks so much for coming along and the kind words. Great. Nick K as well. Great to see you. Thanks for coming along. We are also, of course, live on Twitch. So, on Twitch, great to see you all there. Edward, Tom Corwin, hope you're doing well. Tom Corwin's been around a long time. E-Boss, good to see you as well. Flight Dispatch 320, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. Cheryl says, congrats on the 3 years. Thanks for the vid streams. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. Viper HX as well. Thank you so much. Really kind. E-Boss says some serious merchandising going on around that Manta Air there. Yeah, we are doing well. And Nagasauce, hello to you. Thanks for coming along. Good. So, yeah, this is what we used. It was an X-Plane 11 stream. Obviously, the channel was built on X-Plane 11 initially. Didn't have this livery at the start either. We flew it in a, as is typical of this channel, in a retro livery. It was a old, I think it was an old KLM livery. Hence, I flew it to Amsterdam. You can see here that we were parked about on these stands. This is, by the way, default Frankfurt in X-Plane 12. It's very good indeed. Yeah, I created this livery a little bit later, not too long after actually. But yeah, that was all the fun of what we got up to during lockdown, making liveries and things like that. Thanks, Mansour. Thanks, George Lumpkin. Let me just. Oh, I'm running behind on chat. There we go. Okay, great. Oh. Andrew Hyundai, thanks so much. Andrew is watching this during the first transatlantic flight. Excellent, Andrew. Enjoy that flight. That's amazing. Yeah, you can get this over people flying around in airplanes. Yeah, very good. Josh Roberts, you're very welcome. Josh wanted to have a go on the real 320, but British Airways were a bit hesitant. There you go. El Glam says, still remember when you were struggling with better pushback in Gibraltar a few years back? Yeah, it feels like yesterday, doesn't it? It does feel like yesterday. Johnny Carlson says 3 years already. You've been on board since almost the start. Indeed, I know, Johnny. Yeah, thanks for being a part of it. Mike's Basement as well. Mike says, good evening, Captain. Doing a flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles. Excellent. Lauren B says, have you seen the new modern style mantle livery made by Viper for the Toliss 320 NEO? It's very swish. I have not seen that. Let me just have a look. Is that in the X-Plane livery paint shop? There we go. Wow. Very smart. a redesigned logo as well. Oh, I like it. Yep. I like the fading. A bit of Manta Sun mixed in with a bit of the 320 Sim Pilot one. Excellent. Yeah, that is a confusing part of. So thanks Viper for that. I will definitely be taking that one for a spin. That looks great on the Neo, especially. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I you know, confusingly, this is, I've written 320 Sim Pilot on this livery, but everything else is Manta, because of course that is what it is there. So yeah, that was not particularly well thought out by me when I put this livery together. But yeah, there we go. So what I'll do is, the airplane sort of, it's half powered on, but it was I think it's just got electrical power. We're going to get it up and running and then get ourselves underway for the short flight. It's only 50 minutes over to Amsterdam. It's going to be very, very busy getting out of Frankfurt, so we'll get all our catering done, and then you can see all the traffic here, because there is an event, and this same thing happened when we did our first live stream. But there we go. Dougal, thanks for coming along. Dougal says, sadly can't make this one, but huge congrats on 3 years, amazing work. Dougal, thanks so much, and thanks to you for your support right from the start. Dougal's a big part of flight sim communities, and yeah, was very very helpful right from the very start of the channel, so really appreciate it. Thanks, Dougal. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoy your evening. Simon's going to join in X-Plane 12. Excellent. I'm at gate V124, James. If anyone's flying along, let me just put the message into Discord. That's what I meant to do. I knew I'd forgotten something. Always forget that one. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in 3 years. I started the very first stream as well. I started with a good 2 minutes of total silence as I failed to realise that no one could hear me, which I have done many times since then, including within the last few weeks, I'm sure. Sorry, I'm just gonna put the route into Discord as usual, and hopefully Cloudbot will come to life if you need that, if you wish to fly along with that. There we go. Good. Sorry about that. Horizis. Followed by an oh dear, oh dear. Arjan likes the Manta colour scheme. I'm glad you like it, unless you're talking about Vipers, which is a much smarter version of this. Evil says this must be my private one. Yes, there we go. That could be it. Yeah, this is the Manta one that I get to cruise around in. Manta Force 1, exactly. Good stuff. Right, I'm sorry that I'm a little bit slower this evening. I don't normally stream at this time of night, but this is all I could fit in, sadly, this week. So yeah, I am. Look at that shadow. I thought there was a problem with my livery there, but there's a shadow from the lighting structure. I got worried there. Good. Right, jumping into the flight event. As you can see, very busy out here. Lots of people heading off from Frankfurt. But yeah, pretty much we've loaded and fueled, but the airplane's not really powered on. So masters are off, most set to norm, wipers are off, batteries check, and oh yeah, so they should be off, but they are on an auto. Sort of the weird state, the Toliss. This is the Toliss A320 in X-Plane 12. It is up to date, but yeah, loads in a sort of halfway configured state like that. There we go, batteries on. APU fire test. Oh, we've got the ACT on this one. This is a fancy one. Extra fuel tanks, which is always a good thing. Johnny says, once airborne, can you talk about speed to Mach? Try and remind me, and I will hopefully remember to do that. But it's basically automatic, but I will hopefully remember. Good. So batteries are on. APU fire test. APU would start up, which we'll do now. In the original stream, in the first live stream we did on the channel, I was completely terrified. I remember being nervous, and you can hear it if you listen back. I'll play a little bit of the audio later. But yeah, I was very nervous, and the we got in the air. I think at 29 minutes we are already in the air flying at departure, which I have never replicated. I don't think, never got close to that. I appreciate, of course, there was only a few of us. It was a handful of us there for that stream, so I perhaps spend a lot more time answering questions already, you know, and talking, which is great. That's what it's all about. But yeah, so APU is on the way. We'll just do the oil, hydraulics, and oxygen. Good. And speed brakes, flat lever, 0, check disarm, parking brake handle on, accu brake pressure, check. Good. So we'll go into our flow. Or it should cut out. There we go. Should have done this already, as that did change. No harm doing it slightly later, but yeah. Fuel is on. Nav lights to 1. Strobe lights to auto. APU is up and running. We'll give it a chance to warm up. We're quite busy today, so econ flow will be off. But let's put the temperatures something typical. And we can do the engine fire tests. River says, glad you're still streaming. I'm certainly still watching. That's great to hear. Thank you. Lauren says, extra fuel tanks useless today. They are indeed. James says, I've got Manta model matching. Excellent. So James is in another Manta aircraft. I've not managed on mine. Mine has loaded it in as a Lufthansa. Why not? Sort of suitable. Yeah, I need to do a bit of work on the model matching in X-Plane as well, to try and catch up with James's hard work on the Microsoft Flight Simulator matching. There we go, and we'll leave this side as it is. Not much to do there. Now there's of course going to be an ATIS and everything, so I'll just put constraint, flight directors on. I'll put VOR 1, and that can go off for now. Vucci says, Vucci, too good to see you. Vucci says, for any major hold-ups at EDDF, please blame KLM 170. Okay. We'll do, Vucci. Great for having you here. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. And thanks for working. Very kind. Kelpie, thanks so much for $25 tip. Kelpie, really huge supporter of the channel. Really appreciate it. Kelpie says, congratulations on this milestone. Can't wait to see what's to come on this channel. Let's try to get off the stand in less than 2 hours this stream. Yeah, was it the last stream that was probably our record worst, in fact? I'm sure we were 1 hour 50 in or something silly like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll be better today. I've parked us very close to an active runway. I don't think we might not take off from there, actually. We shall see. But unfortunately we do have to push backwards. We're not allowed to just drive forwards, though we could probably make it. But anyway, thank you so much, Kev. We really appreciate the tip. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for coming along today. Yeah, really, really very kind. Right, yes, good. So that is down constraint, and then we come down here. We'll set the QNH and so on in a moment. Nothing else really to do here, just set the weather radar. It's definitely off, of course. And yeah, good stuff. Right, what I'm going to do first, because a lot of potential here to get the wrong runway. For those of you, who don't know Frankfurt Airport, big place, very, very busy. And yeah, they've got 25 centre, 25 left, and they've got 25 right. 25 rights are usually just used for landing. So you could go from 25 centre or left. I've seen them while I've been waiting here, take off from 25 centre. But I also know that run 8 is a very popular departure runway out of Frankfurt. It would depend on what sort of a departure you're planning to fly. AC, thanks so much for your 5. I believe that's Swiss, but yeah, thank you so much, AC, who says, congratulations. I know we do not talk about Innsbruck on this channel, but it is the one stream I remember most vividly. Oh dear. I mean, Innsbruck was how long ago now? And it will forever be a part of this channel's history, no doubt about it. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, AC. Yeah, that's very, very, very kind of you. And yeah, indeed, I'm not surprised you remember the Innsbruck stream. Yeah, nothing went my way that day. But there we go. It's not a not one I you know, I don't mind it. And like I say, I did a video on it afterwards because I thought it was quite interesting. And yeah, there was a few just obvious errors in that stream which led to that, which is good. So we haven't been back. But yeah, thank you so much, AC, for the very, very kind super chat. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you to Kelpie for your tip, and Flight Dispatch 320, thank you for your $6.21 tip. Really appreciate it. That's again very kind. You'll be very generous. Flight Dispatch says, congratulations on the 3 years. The amount of knowledge and entertainment you've passed on to us all is greatly appreciated. Here's to many more years ahead and flying along in the streams. Stayed with the SAA today. Excellent. Thank Flight Dispatch 320. Thank you so much for your very kind tip. Thanks for supporting the channel, and thank you for your very kind words as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you for flying along. Yeah, I can see you. So that is the SAA sitting over there, which is in the right livery, which is good news. But yeah, that is fantastic. So really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you again to Kelpie. Thank you, AC, and thank you, Flight Dispatch. Very, very kind of you. Goodness me, yeah. Jigpoint says Innsbruck was great. It said don't mention Innsbruck. Yeah. RMV says, Innsbruck has nothing on Scardo. I tried the approach the other day. Nothing in the box to help you out. Just a funky NDB that doesn't help at all with terrain clearance. That sounds fun. Maybe I'll give that one a go. Anything but Innsbruck. I'll try anything, just on Innsbruck. Right, what I said 5 minutes ago is that I would get the ATIS. So you can see how we don't get anywhere very quickly. Departure and arrival ATIS, that's good. So we want the departure ATIS. We are going to be using information Lima 34005. Oh, interesting. So it'll be a tailwind of 18. So runways for departure 25 center and 18. So we'll see. Transition level 60. No surprise there. Temperature 7. It's cold over there. It's been a lovely day here in the UK. QNH 1019. Information Lima we have. So first of all, let's not forget it. Let's set the QNH 1019, 1019, 1019. I'm just going to wind in. Oh, that's too much. A random altitude until we get clearance. I'm dreading logging onto the frequency. That's going to be quite something. So 25 center and 18 for departure. I don't know which they'll give us. 25 center would be ideal. It's right in front of us, but it depends on which way they want us to go. We are heading north, so I'm sort of hoping they'll let us off the centre, but I think it might just be for westerlies. We shall see. So at some point I'm going to have to go to delivery, and there's 2 delivery frequencies, but they are both running 1219. Okay, good. I've still not got my radio panel plugged back in again, so unfortunately you're going to have to watch me scroll. I have found it.
Thank you. Speedbird 84 Charlie delivery. Good evening. Lima correct. Cleared Gatwick. Sopra 2 Lima. Flat platform.
Avgeek Steve, thanks so much for your $20 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Avgeek Steve says, congratulations on your 3rd anniversary. Because of you, I recently purchased a CPU from Apex Games. I've learned so much from you. Thank you. You're very welcome, Avgeek Steve. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your support. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you for coming along, and I'm glad you've been enjoying the channel. It's great to hear it. Aelred, thank you. Really appreciate it. James as well, thank you so much. Cade says, I just wish your videos were around when I started my training long ago. Thank you, Cade. Yeah, AC455, thanks for coming along and moderating, and thanks, really appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the channel. The moderators here are a huge, huge part. Really, really can't thank them enough for what they've enabled this community to become, and that is the hard work and decision making of the moderators. So yeah, really, really big thank you to them always. But yeah, thank you so much, Avgeek Steve. Really, really very kind and very generous of you. Really appreciate it. Right.
Frankfurt ground, good evening. Manta 99 is type Airbus A320, requesting clearance to
A320?
Amsterdam.
Looks like flight dispatch is in a 319.
Manta 999, delivery, good evening. Information Lima is correct. Cleared Amsterdam Schiphol via Maroon 7 Mike, flight plan route. Climb via SID, flight level 70, squawk 1000.
7 Mike departure. CM.
999, thank you. Climb squawk 1000. Sorry, I apologize, I misread there. No worries. Cleared via Maroon 7 Mike departure, runway 25 center.
25 center.
Initially flight level 70.
That's sounding good. Let's hope we get the same.
25 center, climb flight level 70, Manta 99, thank you.
Let's get some AP bleed on. Get to the ground. Power.
People one after the other, please. Manta 999, please acknowledge Maroon 7 Mike departure. Maroon 7 Mike departure, Manta 99, thank you. Repeat correct, report when ready.
Nick, hey, thanks so much for £5 super chat. Nick, really appreciate it. Nick says, hey Cap, just a thanks for the entertainment and amazing real world insight. Not for using the real world. Thanks. You're very welcome, Nick. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the channel. Thanks for the very kind super chat. Yeah, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure with the people who've come together around this channel. I am very lucky. So thank you so much. But data aircraft status is correct. Let's do diff strip. So in it, is this going to find anything?
Lufthansa 5 Alpha Kilo, stand Charlie 14, ready push and start.
It has. Look at that.
Lufthansa 5 Alpha Kilo, roger, startup approved.
That's great. Hey, look at that, and perf as well. Line IRS.
Start approved.
Wow, this is fancy stuff. Although not, yeah, there we go.
Lufthansa 5 Alpha Kilo.
Not sure what that's doing. Delivery, good evening. Manta 3, Stan Victor 124 A321 with information Lima. Request clearance for Amsterdam.
Manta 003, delivery, good evening. Information Lima, correct. Cleared Amsterdam Schiphol via Maroon 7 Mike, flight plan route. Climb via SID, flight level 70, squawk 1000.
Cleared to Amsterdam via Maroon 7 Mike. Climb flight level 70, squawk 1000, Manta 003.
003, repeat correct, report ready.
Okay. Fantastic. I should have known. I put the call sign as Manta 003 on VATSIM, and I should have known that they would hold me to that. I was expecting to just say Manta 3 every time, but yeah, that is my fault. Right, 25 center. Right, 7 Mike. But yeah, thank you so much, Nick. Really appreciate the super chat. And indeed, not for any real world use. I said that at the start of my first stream. I said that as well. I specifically made sure. Good times. So that now links up, which is good. Follows our flight plan through. I'm just going to put in a rough arrival into Amsterdam. It's a short flight. We're expecting the Norco arrival. I'll put in 18 right to start with. Ooh, that could be risky, but the Toliss flight planning is very good, so we'll be able to change it if we need to. And thank you again, AvGeek Steve, for your very kind super chat, and Flight Dispatch 320, of course, and everyone who's so kindly contributed to the channel so far. Really, very kind. There you go, 52 minutes, pretty short. So we've done data, init A, flight plan, secondary, just copy. Radnav, nothing to tune there. Init B time. So just to prove to you what we're doing, we are going with a 0 fuel weight of 65.5 or 65.4 and 28. So that works for us there. Init B, so finally performance. And we can uplink takeoff data apparently. Takeoff limit, flaps. So if I put in flaps 1, it will request it. I don't normally do this. This is unusual to me. Takeoff data uplink. Okay. Received. Insert. I'm just going to check that. 144, 147. That's gone without a flex. This would let us flex to 62. Slightly lower numbers with full thrust takeoff. Let's do a full thrust takeoff anyway. We'll go toga, flap 1, 142, 142, 147. Why not? Clean 220. There we go. Oh, goodness me. Very kind. Crispy Chip says, just past my... It's very kindly super chatted. 250 Hong Kong dollars. Goodness me. Just passed my command on the A330 A350. Capturing an A350 into the London Heathrow last week was amazing. Found your videos really helpful during my course study. Oh dear. Well, I can't condone this. Not going to lie, use them all for real world use. Haha. Love the new podcast too. To many more YouTube vids. Crispy Chips, thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it. And you clearly know my thoughts on real world use, but fantastic. I mean, command on 330, 350. What a great position to be in. So I hope you enjoy that for everything it's worth, because that is obviously a fantastic job. And thank you so much for your very, very kind super chat. Really, really appreciate it. That is very, very generous. And what was giving me the option to celebrate? What does that mean? I don't know. But yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast. Really, really appreciate it. And then we have another super chat from Rice Paddy, 20 Canadian dollars. Really, very kind. Rice Paddy, I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for coming along. Thank you for your super chat. I can't see a message from you, but yeah, I can only apologise if I've missed it. But yeah, thank you so much for your super chat, Rice Paddy. And thank you again, Crispy Chips, for your very kind super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Hayden, good to see you. Hayden says approximately £26. There we go. Thank you, Hayden. Yeah, very generous, Crispy Chips. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Right. And Hayden, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Really, really great to have you join us today. Quality Moose as well. Thank you. Glad you, great to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Right. I'm getting completely off train of thought here. So that's done. Let's get the airplane closed up now. So we can close the doors. Auto close. They can close up. We can lose external power. And we'll leave the chocks in for just a moment longer. We've done the performance, so we've done our diff trip through to the P. We've been told flight level 70. Straight, flight directors 1019, 142, 147, climb now 182, 7000s, which is going to be a flight level. So let me just check. Transition altitude is actually, yeah, 5000, that works. And we're going toga takeoff, so that's all good. Okay, I'm going to report ready. Manta 3, stand Victor 124, we are ready.
Manta 3, startup is approved, hold position, and for push, contact apron 121.950, goodbye.
Setup approved, apron 12195, Manta 3, thanks for your help, bye. They're doing a great job here.
Delivery,
that's all in the right place. 12195.
PDC, we are ready for push.
Springboard's doing PDC, very good. Right, let me run. Let's do. We've cheated a little bit here. We'll do a bit of our briefing, and then we'll do our before start checklist, and then we'll be in a better place. So, we're here. We've only got to get to 25 centre there. We're doing a toga takeoff. Why not? A 4 kilometre runway, but it'd be good fun. Out, and then we're going to fly the departure, which is pretty straightforward. It's out, left turn via Nauheim, and then another right turn, Roxat, above 6,000 feet, Adebu, Lisku, Tabum, Lixi, Lorpa, out to Marin. We're stopping at flight level 70. We've got note 1, 200 knot turn until VFM, so we'll be leaving flap 1 out for that. Max 230 until Roxat for the second turn. That's no trouble, we'll do it first turn with flap out, and then we'll clean up for 230, which we can do clean, no trouble at all. You should know better. Startup was already approved with departure clearance in Germany, says Laura B. Did I ask for start? I just said I was ready, and then they approved startup. But now, so now I need to get just push off ramp. I'm sure I've done something wrong. It's very easily done in Germany. I love the terrain because there's not too much problem. Actually, we can leave the weather radar there. Good. So that is a bit of a plan. We'll do 2 engines because we've only got to get there. 747. Don't see that very often. But what we do need to do, that's what I hope we need to do, is get rid of some of the vehicles.
On to Cockpit. So driving
We'll
up.
get our tug connected. So much going on here.
Lufthansa 5 Alpha Kilo, we're ready for taxi. Lufthansa 5 Alpha Kilo, taxi November, orange line.
Good, so before I start checklist, cockpit prep is completed and completed. Gear pins and covers are removed. Signs are on an auto. AIDs are in nav. Fuel quantity, so we've taken, we needed 6.9. No, it's reloaded us at 6.9. I'm going to take a little bit more than that for the simple reason I'm going to go 7.6 just for how long it's going to take us to get out of here. It is a lot of fuel anyway because of the alternate being back in Frankfurt. But there we go. So 7 tons, which we have and is balanced. That would of course change our performance, but we know we're covered with our toga. Takeoff data is set. RF 1019. It's down to the line.
Springbok 4, go ahead.
This is where we...
Springbok 4, there will be traffic behind Lufthansa Airbus A320. Once this traffic is clear, pushback approved. Face east, November, orange line.
Orange line. I don't think I have that in my version.
Copy after the
We can make it work.
A319 passes, push east on November, orange line, Springbok 4. Legend 496, Tower 119.
Was there? Thanks so much for your £5 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. I'll just... Oh, 1 second. Ramp, Manta 3, stand Victor 124, request push.
2 aircraft at the same time. First was Speedbird 916 November. Good evening. Taxi Victor 118 via Lima. In kill for Delta 8. Delta 8. No.
Not sure what's going on down there.
Speedbird 916 November. Delta 8 is in theory available, but there are 5 aircraft waiting to depart the alleyway, so you can take Delta 8, but then it's going to be a little bit of a wait. Speedbird 916 November, taxi via November East Orange Line. November East Orange Line, Speedbird 916 November.
Ramp, Manta 3, stand Victor 124, request push.
Manta 3, hello. Squawk 1000, hold your position, there's traffic behind.
Squawk 1000, Manta 3. Now, I don't know why I wouldn't have turned the transponder on at this point, to be honest. The transponder goes on once you are actually going. But there we go. He has asked, so that is what we shall do. Yeah, thanks so much, Wazair, for the £5 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Wazair says, many congrats on your 3rd anniversary. I wouldn't be enjoying Microsoft Flight Simulator as much as I do without your tutorials and knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for your £5 super chat. Thank you for those kind words. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, that is great to hear. Yeah, it's such a treat. That's.
You guys cooked that up that you wanted to depart all at the same time. I'm afraid there's traffic behind. I call you with push. Apologies, thank you. Just let you know. I said, no, cheers. You did a great job. Well, it's your delay, not mine.
I hope you can hear
I can live with that.
ATC. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much. It's a treat to hear that the channel helps people out with their flights.
Triple Niner, there is traffic behind. It's a South African Airways Airbus A320.
Let's go with the shocks.
If you can make it to November blue line, then
there you go.
pushback is approved.
So this is what I was expecting to happen.
999 at 70, but keep pushing approved to blue line. Thank you.
So orange is the far line, then November, and then November blue. So the reason really busy ramps have this setup is that you can do exactly this. Push 2 at once. Often they'll push from alternative sides. It's rare to have 3 aircraft right next to each other all want to push at once. It can happen, but there we go. So now Manton 99 Echo. What's very good is that they seem to be quite happy with our call sign.
One Yankee Whiskey, are you happy to taxi into Echo 2 behind the Airbus A320 on November Orange and beam Delta 1?
Oh, was that for us?
Confirm Echo 2, then
No. 11 Clark M, thanks so much for a £5 super chat. 11 Clark M says 3 years, wow. Amazing achievement. Curious, can you explain why you didn't adjust V-speeds after adding extra fuel, even with Toga? Will that affect VR? So, you're making a very good point. Thank you so much, 11 Clark M, for the £5 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And you are absolutely right. We should redo the performance if you're going to increase it. So what you can do is you could run your performance at a higher weight, and that way these last minute changes. Now, admittedly, fuel is unlikely to be a last minute change because you would know that in advance. But yeah, what you can do is you can just have extra weight in there, and then you know that you're covered. But as you can see, we're going to do 143, 143, 148. So it did all go up, and not with that extra weight of fuel. 43, 43, 48, 220. I knew that was that was going to come up. That's actually PAX off takeoff, interestingly. This is a full performance. So hopefully I remember to do the PAX off for this one. There we go. But yeah, great point. So it has gone up a lot. But thanks so much for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the channel. G-Man says you probably could have taxied straight out. Yeah, I know. I know. It's so close. So hopefully Manton 99 will push sort of next to the SAA, although it's pretty tight based on this default scenery. I think James is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so yeah, it's probably not displaying it.
Yeah, correct. He's waiting. Beam Victor 107. So you just taxi into November East Orange Line, and then you'll be behind the Dutch Airways. Well, ich bin hallo, Lufthansa 2 Charlie Tango. Lufthansa 24 Charlie. Guten Tag.
There we go. Just start getting those window views a bit sorted out better. There we go. Thank you so much, 11 O'Clock M. Thank you, was there. Really appreciate it. And Rice, and Crispy Chips, and Nick, and everyone else. Really appreciate it. What else can we do? When the delay's this long, you'd probably say something to the passengers. Terrain, it's just a database that we're looking at here. If there's no weather, I'd have that on. If there was weather, I would have the weather radar ready, which means simply you just leave that off, and then the weather radar, when you turn it on, will display there. Tommy, thanks for the follow. Oh, sorry, James. Yeah, James looking for the blue line. So yeah, that's James. We are parked here. I'm on Victor 124. You're on 123. Blue line is close behind us. Orange is far, and then the normal line is in the middle. But yeah, it won't show up in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh, James has done it. There, perfect. Nice one. Excellent, excellent. Better pushback will make this a breeze for us as well.
November, once the company Airbus A320 is safely on blue line, taxi ahead and hold a beam Delta 1. Once clear of company Airbus A320, pushing onto the blue line, hold short Delta, bitte was? Basically hold short of November 1. Which one November 1? Speedbird 916 November. Frankfurt ground, Commander 99 ready for taxi. Triple Nana taxi, holding question taxi via November blue line and November 1 to hold short of Lima. Hold short Lima via blue line, Thank you.
Here we go.
At ground,
That Virgin taxied out a while ago. It is busy on 25 Centre.
There will be an Airbus A320. He's on the blue line just adjacent to you. Give way to him. Taxi via November.
Landing on the left as well.
November 1, approach out of Lima.
This is impressive stuff from VATSIM.
Copy the,
I am impressed.
320 on November blue.
So,
November
they're
orange,
going to
November
move.
1, hold short Lima.
I'm not sure what this one is.
I say 5 Alpha Tango behind the two Airbus A320s, bunching up in front of you.
say.
Taxi via November, November 1, hold short of Lima. Behind the two Airbus A320s, Lufthansa 13 Tango, taxi
I'm
gate
hoping we'll get clearance
112
shortly
via
after that. Short Ridger says, happy stream birthday, by the way, and safe flight. Thanks very much, Short Ridger. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. Yes, Flightliner says, hey 320 Sim Pilot, I always enjoyed your videos and now hopefully on Twitch. I just saw you live stream and wanted to give a follow. Sadly, I can't be here for today, but we will read us in one of the next streams. Regards from Germany and happy landings. Thanks so much, Flightliner. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time. Really appreciate it. Good me enemy, thanks for the follow. You know, this can happen. It's not super. This is a particularly bad one. But this is. We did this in. We went from Johannesburg, didn't we? And this is exactly what we did. This might work out if we're allowed to push in front of this one.
Hello, Super down 05 uniform, stand 5, we're ready for pushback start.
People 916 November.
Go ahead.
Once clear of Iceland Air, Boeing 767 opposite, taxi Delta 8.
Once clear of Iceland Air, 767 ahead, taxi Delta 8.
Thanks, Saf. Really appreciate it.
Lufthansa 9 Tango Papa, swing over November Blue, taxi Victor 117.
We are indeed next plane. Next plane today.
November Blue, Victor 117.
I do enjoy my job, Jamie.
Delta 16, taxi
I do not watch football.
Taxi Delta 4, Golf.
What's going on here? Come on.
Manta 999, Tower 119.9, goodbye. 119.9, thank you, goodbye. Manta 003, pushback approved onto November, face east, orange, correction, blue line.
Push approved onto November, facing east on the blue line, Manta 3. Good. Let's go. Blue line, so they're idle. Windows and doors closed. Let's get the beacon on. We've done the transponder already. So, windows, doors closed. Beacon on, mobile phones on, thrust lever side, or parking brake is set. Let's go for pushback. So, let's get this right. He wants us to go east on the blue line. We are here. Blue line's the closest, facing east.
Thanks very much. Have a good evening, Springbok 4.
On to Cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So, there's Frankfurt has loads of these roadways, so that's great. So there'll be one there, one there. That looks like an orange line. Oh, there is a blue line. What's that?
Now connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes released. Start the clock.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engine.
Now this would be a good single engine sort of day. Although we are very close to the runway because we've got 1, 2. James is right at the front of the queue already. I'm wondering if some of these are parking or if they're in queues.
Ground speedbird 84 Charlie, ready for taxi.
It's a tricky one. You don't want to be not ready. I think I'll do one engine, get over here, and then we can start the second one.
Swing over onto November Orange, no problem. Then taxi November Orange, November, and hold November 5. Speedbird 84 Charlie.
Ryanair 431 Sierra, once clear of British Airways Airbus A320.
Right, and starting engine number 1.
Pushback approved. November blue line, face west.
See what it looks like from here. I'm going to do it using my hardware. There it goes. See the hydraulics pressurized? Fantastic. This is better pushback.
Ryanair 431 Sierra, give way to British Airways Airbus A320 behind, and then push onto November blue line, face west.
We've got the IAE engines, which was the classic for this channel for a long time. Flight dispatchers, I should have done one single engine taxi. Indeed. Yet James has got away with getting straight out to the holding point. It can be so hard to predict sometimes.
Contact 29 Victor, Frankfurt 8 hello, hold your position.
Theodore says, I avoid Frankfurt as there isn't scenery and I'm scared of being shouted at in Germany in case I miss my turn. I'm nervous too, but look at this. This blue line was here in default scenery. I'm very impressed. James wanted out the situation fast. No worries, James. You take your opportunity.
Tower Manta 99, holding point Lima.
Oh no.
Manta 999, contact Tower 119.
Poor James.
1909, thank you, goodbye.
That's Avail. Back. P bleed off. Leave the P bleed on. Parking brake is set. We'll put on the yellow hydraulic pump, which will hopefully get rid of that caution. Arm the ground. Reset the trim. Flaps 1.
916 November, wir sind am Block, gut gemacht hier und einen schönen Abend, tschüss. 916 November, danke dir fürs Fliegen, ciao.
There goes the little tug.
467, holding number 4. Number 467, taxi via Lima, hold short of Lima 3.
Yes, Papa, good to see you. Yes, Papa, long time moderator, member of the channel, and also has been responsible for the building of our Discord. So yes, Papa, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. Great to see you here. Goodness me, it's been a long time. I hope you're doing very well. Thank you again for all your support on the channel over the years.
Can you get past the Icelandair 767?
I might be able to squeeze, yeah.
This queue isn't looking too bad now. Now I see it from here.
Thank you. Taxi via November Orange and November to short November 5.
What was there asked? How's performance in X-Plane 12? I find it very good.
November 5, speedbird 8 Charlie.
Lager 404, join
Once I got rid of the parked aircraft, there's the hand signal, so we'll run the after start checklist. Anti-ice is not required. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim. Going for 28. Surprise, surprise. Bang in the middle. Rudder trim 0. That's the one thing that's not realistic about SimBrief, or the way I loaded this aircraft is once again very good. It's very balanced. The real one obviously less so. And then we have Inox Systems Pack 2. It would also say Cat 3 single actually. I'm surprised it did earlier and it seems to have lost that. Don't know why, but anyway, that's the message there. Manta 3 request taxi.
Manta 3 taxi via November Blue Line and November 1 hold short of Lima.
November Blue Line, November 1 hold short of Lima, Manta 3. Oh, we're here. November Blue, November 1, Lima's there. Nose lights, brakes released.
778 taxi.
Let's get this moving. We're not too heavy for a 321 because just relatively light fuel load. There she go. Not much thrust required for that. We were allowed to go in front of this Naga 404, so we've done well there. Look at this, just fantastic. This is VATSIM at its best. Do a little brake check. I try to do the brake check as imperceptibly as possible. I want to feel that the brakes have worked, but the real check is of course that they work and this little panel here, so we can just do it again. There they go, they're working fine. But you don't want the aircraft to sort of jolt around because you've got cabin crew probably standing up in the cabin at this point. So I try and just it's just so that me and the other pilot can we know it's coming.
Charlie, thank you for your cooperation. Contact tower, correction April now 121.850. Goodbye.
121.850. Thank you very much. Speedbird 8 for Charlie.
Thank you again for those very kind tips. Really, really appreciate it.
Taxi behind the
Right, we're running away down the hill here.
November 1 and holding point Lima, Lager 404. Just to confirm, it's via November Blue Line and November 1 to hold short of taxiway Lima.
Brake set. So we can update our brief. We know we're going from 25 centre. If we go to plan, we can see it here. Out left, 200 knots. Actually, so leaving flap 1 past that point, then we can clean up. Clean, and around we go. Going up to flight level, so we'll set standard at some suitable moment, and we are going toga for the takeoff flap 1. The runway is over there. We're going from pretty much full length. Not much else to say. Right, you see suddenly the queue's disappeared. Some of those aircraft weren't going to depart, and this is where you can get yourself stuck. So let's start up engine 2. So we'll put the APU bleed on, yellow electric pump off. We'll put our thrust levers where we want them. Ignition start. Oh, starting 2. That's my hardware. Brake set. This is, this is what we talk about, single pilot stuff in the newest podcast. But imagine handling all of this single pilot. It's, I'm doing it now on stream, but it's just not. There's still so much to do. So much to do. So many room for errors. So much room for errors, sorry. So it's, yeah. And then picture adding de-icing into this and slot delays and everything else. That is not that uncommon, frankly. Yeah. A long way off, I think. Is available? Because, of course, this is great because we're stopped, but imagine if we were trying to taxi and do this. Anyway, back to norm. APU off. Don't need the APU. And that's set. That's set. That's set. Engine ice we're going to leave off. Cross speed is in the right place. Good. So, before we take a checklist, well, in fact, before we do that, let's run the flight controls while we sit in the queue. So, full left. Full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder full left, full right, neutral. Here's a funny one with the 321, because we haven't flown 21s much on this channel recently. We obviously started the channel entirely on it. But notice how the roll spoilers are different. It's deploying much more roll on spoilers 4, 3, and 1, or maybe that's 5, 4, 2.
Not the 737 actually, Boeing 737.
It does still slightly deploy. I'm just trying to show you. It does still slightly deploy this spoiler, and that's why when you look inside, you do get all the arrows. But it's worth noting these arrows do not show a scale on the spoilers. We get a scale on the ailerons, but we can't see how much these are deployed by. We can just see if they've deployed or not. Now you might think, well, it doesn't matter, and you're right, it pretty much doesn't, until there are some fuel penalties that you can get if you have a failure of the hydraulics that involves those certain roll spoilers. So if the hydraulic system that powers those individual spoilers fails, then they can actually drift up because they're at the back of the wing, and you wouldn't know. So 199 Manta 003, thanks so much for your help today. Bye. Yeah, and you can't tell how much by, so you just have to do the fuel penalty, assuming it's fully. Right, we're going to hold short of Lima here. Oh, look, they actually stopped for us for a second there. That was good. I'm just going to finish the checklist. So flight controls checked, flight instruments checked, briefing confirmed. Flaps, we've got config 1+F, green 1, blue on there. We've got 143, 148, climb nav 1FT2, and we're stopping at 70. Transponder is set. Let's put it to TARA. And I'm going to do ECAM memo. It is takeoff no blue, but we, of course, need the cabin. There we go, takeoff no blue. That's down to the line.
Turn right on mic and hold short of Tango 4.
Right on mic and hold short of Tango 4, Eurings 249.
Tower, good evening, Manta 3, holding short Lima.
Lufthansa 3, correction, cause again, please.
Manta 3, holding short Lima, ready for departure.
3 for Tower. On the line 766, wind 250 correction, variable for not runway traffic left, ticket to land.
2 Point says, the podcast is great, I always listen to it on my commute to work. Especially bought earbuds for it, so I can listen to it. I was like, fantastic, Chip Point. Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'll be working on the next one very soon. Very soon. I Love Red says, if you accidentally turned off engine 1 while starting 2 like you did a few seconds ago, what will happen? Well, yeah. So the reason it happened to me, it wasn't.
Continue to holding point Lima on runway 25 center.
I feel like that's for us. Oh, that was for us. We're getting in trouble now.
Continue to holding point Lima on runway 25 center.
Holding point Lima 25 center. Manta 3, thank you. Lima 1, there we go, okay. So, we are November 1 to hold short Lima, Lima 1 right in front of us. We're actually just rolling down this hill, no power needed. Look at that, that's really low pitch. So yeah, it will just roll away on you. Yeah, so the reason I accidentally, that switch moved is because my hand knocked it on the Thrustmaster TCA. The real ones can't do that. They're actually latched in. You'll see them the way they actually lift up over a gate, so you can't just knock them out of position for obvious reasons. What would happen if you did that while taxiing out? Well, unless you were very quick to turn it back on, I would imagine you would potentially be looking at shutting down the wrong engine. You would have the APU available, so you'd keep electrical power, and the engine 2 would continue to start, and then that one would take over. But you'd have an awkward few moments where you'd be braking using the hydraulic accumulator, is my guess. Now, if you were to quickly switch it back on again, I don't know. I genuinely do not know if it would do what the Toliss did there, where it let me get away with it, as it were. But like I say, not likely to happen in the real aircraft because you can't actually knock these out of position. Good spot there. Liam, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Proside, thanks for the follow. Aviation crew, call me enemy.
Springbok 4, contact departure 120-150, goodbye.
The Gadget Badger says, I need an episode of the podcast with you, Barney, and Flight Data Sim. That would be an episode. That's, yeah, interesting. Thanks. Any feedback appreciated. Because originally Barney was going to be a sort of regular guest, but Barney's enjoying it a lot, and it sounds like you're enjoying Barney's contributions a lot, so it could work out that Barney can be a regular, more than just a regular guest, as it were.
Good evening. 9404 holding short Lima.
But yeah, excellent. I look forward to the recording those podcasts. I really enjoy them. So we're going to be going full length over there once the Iceland Air gets out of the way. Short Router asks, in a rather empty plane, what would be a possible reason to ask some passengers to give their carry-ons into cargo? Oh, that's a tricky one. I really don't know. If it's empty, I'd be surprised. Unless it's a weight issue, but that's not likely on Airbus. But if you're on a smaller sort of aircraft, it could be more likely. Ed has very kindly, Ed super chatted £10, really appreciate it. Ed says, happy anniversary and a huge thank you for everything. You've taught us all so much and got us through some tough times during COVID. My simming wouldn't be where it is without this channel. That's really great to hear. Really appreciate it, Ed. Thank you so much, and thank you for the very, very, very kind super chat. And thank you for being, again, such an enthusiastic member of the channel. It's people like you who really make this place and this channel the fun place it is to be involved with. So yeah, thank you so much, Ed. Thank you for that very generous super chat. Really appreciate it. Very, very kind. Lauren V says, I like Barney as sort of a co-host. There you go. Okay, excellent. Short Ridge says, we guess weight distribution on an A320 was around 1/3 full. Yeah, interesting. Rare to have weight issues. Nothing's impossible though. There could be a certain series of events. Alex Van der Paz says 320 sim pilot flying, a 737 flight sim flying A320. That's usually very, very funny. There you go. is usually, yeah. Josh would like to see Steve back for another 7-8 video. I thought Steve would be, yeah. I'm doing my best for that. I'm doing my best to get Steve back.
We have to wait for a sequence for departure, sorry.
About an hour in. We're not even in the air. I knew this would happen. And we're at the back of the queue. Look at this. No one else around. We do have a great looking jet though.
Frankfurt Tower, gute Catchet, 11 Lima Victor, ILS 25 left. ISR 5 Alpha Tango, wind variable for not 100% clear for takeoff. Let me take off ISR 5 Alpha Tango. Jet 11 Lima Victor, Frankfurt Tower low.
James says, I thought my day job had stress. This has been mental. Dear. James.
003 behind departing ISR 767, line up 100% and wait behind.
Behind departing Iceland 767, line up and wait 25 center behind Manta 3. That's us. Lights. Brakes released. There goes the Iceland 76. Clear on approach. Yeah, James was unfortunate that James got sent straight out onto the runway. 4 prawns, thank you so much. $40 tip, 4 prawns, far too generous, really very kind. 4 prawns says, thank you for 3 years of great content. I'm looking forward to catching up with the stream later as I can't join today. 4 prawns, thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for that incredibly generous tip. And I hope you enjoy the stream later. It will be, of course, available on YouTube as ever.
American 9723.
Very, very, very kind. Thank you so much, 4 prawns. Really, really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. We have
4 prawns has been a big support of the channel as well over many a year. So really, really very kind. Okay, there we go, lined up. 4 kilometre runway here, one of the longest in Europe. Duncan Clary, thanks so much as well. Duncan Clary's kindly super chatted £5. Duncan says, love the podcast. I introduced to a friend who's recommended a guest for you. Avid at 320 pilot called Fraser Cooper. There we go. Duncan, thank you so much. Oh, we're going backwards. Interesting. Thank you so much, Duncan. Really, really appreciate the super chat. Very, very kind of you. Thanks for supporting the channel and thanks for spreading the word about the podcast. And yeah, well, hopefully, I need to get a bit more coordinated with the guests. Now, James Takeoff 25 center, Manta 3. So thank you again for those super chats. Right, we are clear to go. So, start the clock. Half side stick down. 50%. Let's go to Amsterdam. Brakes released. All the way forward. Mantoga SRS. Off we go. 100 knots, stick to neutral. Quite a bumpy runway, this one. Gonna have no trouble though. Blue one rotates. Keep pitching. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. We are just rocketing away now. 321s have excellently powerful engines. Straight into the gloom. No surprise there.
Again, 9723, welcome to Frankfurt, turn right on Mike, hold to Tango 4. Thank you.
So 2 clicks back this time. Quite a power change, so the nose will drop down because we were toga. Thrust, climb, climb, auto thrust. I tend to do that quite smoothly. You could just bring them straight back, but I always feel like some passengers might be a little bit nervous to hear the engine suddenly lose power and feel a slight change in acceleration there. Autopilot 1. Because of course at that moment you hear a sudden spool down and it could make people think there's an issue. Autopilot 1. Right, let's set standard. We're going up to flight level. Standards. Out blue. Flight level 70 in blue in there. Now the 200 knots was actually for that turn, but the Airbus has had to code it at the VFM because of course it's the next waypoint. So what I'm going to do is accelerate on my own to the 230 knots that we're allowed to do, rather than sit here waiting. But thank you, Duncan. Really appreciate it. And Alexander Paz, thank you. I'll get to Alex in just a second. Sorry, Alex. Right, above the S, 0, disarm, get rid of those lights, 7 degrees, engine anti-ice on. We left the packs on for takeoff that time. After discussing we wouldn't do that. Not an issue on that takeoff with toga thrust. Not even close. Right, 2,000 feet to go. I'm going to pull the vertical speed. Could be a bit late, we shall see. And we'll do 1,000 per minute. Speed, vertical speed 1,000. It's managed, excellent. And we are away. Now, I have a horrible feeling this might have involved an automatic changeover, which I have not experienced on VATSIM before. Contact landing radar when advised by tower. Okay. Someone's in trouble. Okay, that frequency isn't online. So we were just waiting to be told.
Jet 1 Lima Victor, taxi via Mike, Tango, hold shot of Tango 4. Taxi via Mike, Tango, hold shot Tango 4, Jet 1 Lima Victor.
Yeah, a lot of airfields do have auto changeovers these days. It's more common than it once was, and it's just sort of usually hidden on that SID page, and you got to find it. But Lauren V's saying there that apparently in VATSIM they would put it in the 80s, so that's good to know. Bro44 says, "Yo, just found your channel, but happy 3 years. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Captain Matt Russell. Very kind. And thanks for the subscription." So Alex van der Paz incredibly kindly super chatted €30, and there's Outstar. We're now level at 70. Let's get that radar on. Not that it works. I don't think it works in the Toliss in X-Plane 12. We shall find out. Nothing too sinister out there. Yeah, thank you so much, Alex van der Paz, for the very kind €30 super chat. Alex says, "Thank you for 3 years of getting and keeping me hooked to flight simming. This channel is a must-watch for any simmer." That's very, very kind. Really, really appreciate it. That is very, very generous of you, and I'm really glad you've enjoyed it. And Alex, thank you so much for being a big part of the channel as well, because of course it's your contributions and your enthusiasm that are all a part of what this community is. So thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the super chat. Very, very, very kind. Thank you again to 4 prawns. Thank you, Duncan. And Adam K has incredibly generously super chatted $50 as well. Amazing. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's very, very. Sounds like we're going to Unicom. Very, very kind. Have I missed my call? Sounds like I have. Thanks so much, Adam K, for the $50 super chat. Adam K says, "Happy anniversary. Thank you for such wonderful content these last few years. It's been an incredibly technical, detailed and fun ride, and you've also put me in the habit of saying right excuses before executing a landing. Thanks again." You're very, very welcome, Adam. Thank you so much for that very kind super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Really, very, very kind. And yeah, you've got to have excuses for landing. Just got to get them in above 1,000. And believe it or not, I stick to that rule day to day. Right, around the next turn, I go manage speed up to 250. We're going to cruise at 240. I will just check with control indeed, Lauren V. Tower Manta 3, would you like us with you, or should we go to Unicom?
Mike, X-ray Zulu 003, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
1228 Manta 3, thanks so much, mate. Perfect, Unicom. We can get straight to our very low cruise of 240. This is going to be a very quick flight. Thrust climb, open climb. We're going to go to 240, which is blue. But thank you again, MK, for your $50 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos. It's amazing that, yeah, we have people on the channel now who didn't flight sim at all before the channel. When I started this channel, of course, it was mainly people who were already into flight sim or X-Plane and were looking at the videos. But now we have people who have since come into flight sim because of Microsoft or whatever, different sim. And yeah, we even have people on the channel who were flight simmers, have since gone and done their commercial training and are now starting jobs at airlines. I mean, that's always crazy to me to think that. There we go, the departure shot. Now that looks like oh no, it's closing. The outflow valve should be closing up soon. And away we go. These clouds looking nice today. Hayden says, talking of which, have you got any excuses in yet? I have not yet, but I will think of some. 321, we haven't flown that for a while. Certainly not the CEO. That can be an excuse, I think. Bro44 says, can the other people in VATSIM see your custom livery? No, they won't see it, no. Unless they were to create the pack. Excuse me. Yeah, unless they were to create the proper file, which James is very good at now, but I have not done yet. Right, let us think here, because with such a short cruise, or such a low level, this must be a very, very short cruise. And also, does Amsterdam have control? Hard to tell. I'm just going to check what's going on VATScope. Love that scope. Looks like it doesn't. Nope. Looks like Amsterdam is in the clear. So let's work out the weather in Amsterdam. And this is another thing. Imagine trying to do this single pilot sector like this. As James has found out, these can be some of the hardest, these short simple flights, as it were, because they don't have to be simple. They can have just as much complexity. But yeah, thank you, Graham, for the subscription, and goodness me, thank you, Dara Dermody, for the €50 super chat. Dara, incredibly kind. Dara says, congratulations on the 3 years. I started getting into flight simming about the time you started posting videos, so I've been hooked on every video since. Here's to the channel growing ever more. Dara, that's far too kind. Really, really appreciate it. And again, it's so great to hear that people have enjoyed the videos to that extent, and that's just great. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know I've not done as many videos lately as I would like to, but I do intend to keep doing them, and I have some ideas if I can get the time to sort of put a video together, and certainly the streams I absolutely love doing, and the podcast I'm really enjoying, so plenty more content, as it were, to come in various forms. But thank you so much for your support, and thank you for that very, very kind super chat, Dara. Really, really, really appreciate it. That is very, very much appreciated. And yeah, hopefully we can grow into some new things, and that's why I thought the podcast would be fun, something different as we sort of approach 3 years. And yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with some other ideas as well. Apologies, I'm just trying to make sure there's a lot of messages coming through. Really, really appreciate the support, but I'm missing a lot of messages, so I can only apologise if I have missed your message. I am sorry. I don't intend to miss anything on purpose, obviously. Engine guys can go off now. We're up in the sun through 10,000 feet, so we'll go to the landing lights, let the passengers walk around for what small chance they have. Flight Dispatch 320, thank you so much for the $6.21 tip. Really, really appreciate it. Flight Dispatch says, work is getting busy for me, so I know what it's like for the flight deck and crew. Treat yourself to a beer after that long day, which was a full flight. Bags coming out of the cabin. Sheet up delays and waiting for stand. And here's to a busy summer. Thank you so much, Flight Dispatch 320. Yeah, Flight Dispatch obviously works in the industry as well, and knows all the the headaches we face on the ground, and is responsible for solving a lot of them. So thank you so much, Flight Dispatch, for your hard work and for that very kind tip, and for being a part of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Very kind. And thank you to James as well for the $3.98 tip. I know Streamlabs converts everything into dollars, but yeah, thank you, James. James says, thanks for letting me fly along as always, and for the 3 years. You're very welcome, James. Thank you for flying along and being a big part of the community, and thank you so much for your tip. Really, really appreciate it. Very kind. Yeah, thank you, Flight Dispatch. Thank you, James. Really, really kind. And thank you, of course, Dara and Adam. Again, unbelievable generosity. And Alexander Paz. Very kind. It's oh, there we go. Not even sure we'll get contrails today. We'll probably be too low. Yeah, it's a real treat, this channel. I really happy the way it's gone. Because during COVID, it grew obviously, which was fun, but it was also, you know, it didn't grow very fast at the start, but I really enjoyed it, chatting with everyone, and you know, that's when we came up with this livery and everything. And again, oh yeah, I've got some audio here. See if you can hear this. Let me see. This is from my first video. It's very quiet. I don't know if you can hear that.
Toliss Airbus A320 NEO for Explain 11. I myself have been flying the real world Airbus airlines for a few years now. About 3,000
Needless to say,
flying, including the Airbus
it's
A321.
yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. Actually, it's funny. It doesn't feel like yesterday. It does feel like a long time ago. We've done so much stuff on the channel. We've flown to so many places, chatted to so many people. Back when I made that video, it was me, a laptop, an X-Plane 11.
Today we'll be doing a walk around just to show you the sort of things we're looking out for as we
walk around video. I think it was 5th of April. Sorry, yeah, I should have it playing on the screen. I'm not brave enough to stream my actual desktop though. But yeah, anyway, a long time ago. Patrick says, I enjoyed your podcast with Barney. Maybe we could get that 787 pilot that showed us how to fly the 787 in. Yes, that is the plan. I would like to do that, absolutely. 11 Clark M asks, do pilots commonly use soft go-around? I was on a BA A320 coming back from Amsterdam to London Gatwick, and we had a go-around due to an RTO from departing aircraft. The GA level off felt fairly aggressive. So, soft go-arounds are not available on all Airbuses. So if you're on a slightly older one, there we are at 240 outstar. If you're on a slightly older one, then yeah, it's not necessarily going to have that feature. It's currently, or it was launched initially as a NEO only thing, but that may change. You know, they may fit it to more. At least I believe that was the case. It was NEO only. That might not be the case, but yeah, if you're on, not all Airbuses do it, so it's not always an option. So that's possibly what happened there. 11 Clark M. Liam is very kindly super chatted £10. Really appreciate it. Liam says, happy anniversary and thanks for your contributions to the flight sim community. Have a drink on me and keep up the good work. I shall indeed. Thank you so much, Liam. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's really, really appreciated. 13565, we have a frequency. And I will indeed enjoy that drink, yeah. And we can go to airport. Got 1.5 tons, so that's 7.6 tons, that's correct. Through the systems.
Thank you. 407 monitor Unicom 122 left from late.
All good.
122, that's right. Thanks very much. Advice from what for?
Bye.
They're so far ahead. They're both checking out of this frequency as we arrive. Control, good evening. Manta 3, flight level 2402 RPEG. They're being really good with our call sign this evening. I like it. I like it a lot.
223, reduce speed to 200 knots. Reducing speed 200 knots, velocity 3.
I have not tried the LVFR 320.
130 will be requiring any assistance after landing.
Minimum clean speed is 210 knots.
Thank you again, Liam, for that tip. Really appreciate it. And James and Flight Dispatch, very kind. Checkpoint says, maybe fun to put it on the podcast. You have more time to get the right. Good point. That is a good idea. Great idea. Thank you very much. Have Geek Steve, I'm using the Thrustmaster Airbus TCA with X-Plane 12 and not having too many issues with it. In fact, it works as I expected. A little bit of fiddling to get the settings right. AC4 is better than the old IMX where they got mixed up with the real one. Yes, that's true. Yes. We used to have trouble with that. So we're going back to 128 soon. Okay, so let us check the weather. Oh, we never get weather around here anymore. I don't understand why. It's a shame. It's a great feature.
1629, thank you. Taxi via Mike, Papa 1 and Tango, position Victor 51.
So they're on light northerly winds.
Taxi via Mike, Papa 1 Tango, position Victor 51. Scandinavia 169.
So that would put us landing on. In fact, it's 310. So that could put us onto 27 or even 24. I think that's a 27 sort of thing for us. I'm sure that'll be wrong if any controller comes online. Now, once again, genius charting by Amsterdam. So we're coming in by Norku. So we just click on the Norku. That easy. All those runways, and they've managed to simplify the charts so well. Norku, Robis, RTIP. RTIP is our buyer point. And then I think straight in to 27. It's busy frequency. RTIP, Norku 2 Alpha, RS 27. Insert. Plan, zoom in. Patrick Hampson says, I would just like to say a massive thank you for all your videos and live streams. They've taught me so much, and to be honest, I think it's your channel that got me into aviation, and now I fly a glider. Fantastic. Amazing, Patrick. Very, very kind, and what a fantastic thing to hear. Thank you so much for coming along, and thank you for sharing that. Really appreciate it. Good luck with your glider, something I've never done. RTIP. Ah, here we go. Now that's not such a great version of the arrival, but if I go to the chart, you'll see why. Approach. RS 27. So it's actually got all of this in it. But I'm going to expect a straight in by Tidvo. So this is a classic one where we're not going to do all of that. I think we'll go from RTIP to Tidvo. Or we'll be radar vectored to something similar to that. So what I can do is I've set up what we need to have. So I'm going to copy that into the secondary. Now that has the full arrival. Actually, it'd be better if I put the weather in first. So let's do the weather too and then do the copy. So they have a QNH of 1021. Temperature is 8. Dew point 8. Ooh, goodness me. Yeah. A bit misty, a bit foggy, potentially, soon after this, as the evening goes on. 3004. And we can put in the MDA. RS 188, slightly below sea level.
If you like, you can do a backtrack and then vacate.
Coming full for landing.
Right via Charlie.
If we go around
Roger, we'll do a back.
3,000 feet.
Otherwise, we will need to taxi to the other end of the
Okay,
runway
so the
with
full
no,
arrival
exit
is in there. Secondary, copy.
Roger.
And now what I'll do in the primary is go from RTIP to TIDVO. Now the reason you might do this is so that you have a more likely set of track marks in the box. The only thing with this is you have to remember that you've done it before you get yourself into trouble, because of course after RTIP we are expected to fly the rest of the arrival. Now Amsterdam, I happen to know, don't actually, they'll tell you after RTIP head to the Sierra Papa Lima and then they'll vector you from there, something like that. But this way we can have a sensible idea. I'm just going to put the threshold in. EM27, so let's do our little hat. So we've done the flight plan now. Radnav, Bravo Victor Bravo 111.55.
1846 identified, direct Norco.
1155, RSDME, course 266. Interestingly, that says 246, but I think that will update as we get closer. Crucially, DME does read 0 at the threshold, so it is a co-located DME. It's a low platform at 2,000 feet, so that means I want to be flat 2, pretty much below 160, and then dropping the gears shortly after the AM 639 point, and down we go. It does say maintain 160 to 4 miles, so we can do that. That's fine. 188 minimum we've got. Rithvik says, hello 320 Sim Pilot. I have to say I do know quite a lot about the 320, but when I watch more of your videos on it, I have to say I have learned a lot about it and aviation in general. That's really kind. Thank you, Rithvik. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along and thank you for saying so. I'm glad the videos were useful. Sometimes I look back at my old videos and it doesn't all stay in your head unless you keep using it, I can tell you that. Good. 220 knots for the go around if we need it, which is fine. We can actually do it clean now. That's good. Auto brake. That's going to be a ground chart. I'm going to do all this and then they're going to change the runway on us. Another reason single pilot airplanes would struggle, I think. But
I need that frequency, that would be better. 1 second.
so we're landing on 27, low, number 3, low auto brake. There it is. And then we'll just come off and park over here. I think that'll be fine. Spring sale in the X-Plane store. I'm wondering if I should buy the Toliss 340 or the Flight Pack 350. Tricky one. I have both.
111.1.
You know, they are different. The Toliss 340 is great. The Flight Pack 350 is also good fun. There's a big difference between the two. Of course, Toliss did the avionics to some extent for the Flight Factor. The Flight Factor does feel very different. The 350 feels more different. The 340, once you get it in the air, you're just flying like this. It almost looks identical. It's this same generation of Airbus. The 350 is obviously the next generation, so it offers a slightly different experience like that. But the 340, you get to fly the classic. You know, it's a fantastic machine. So it's a tricky one. Depends which airplane you want, really. But you can go and watch my first long haul stream was in the Flight Factor 350. It's good fun. I don't know if it works in X-Plane 12 yet. Big perk of the Toliss 340 is it does work in X-Plane 12. Rithwik says, I heard Amsterdam is the lowest international airport in terms of altitude, but correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it must be, because it is below sea level ever so slightly, which is very rare.
Runway maintains Manchester 340, Euro and 61. 130, turn left, correction, sorry, Lufthansa 130, turn right, heading 280,
question for you all. The VMAX 777, does that work in X-Plane 12? Likewise, there's two different 787s, aren't there, on the X-Plane All Store? Do they work in X-Plane 12? Toliss have done such a good job getting their stuff over to X-Plane 12. So there's an X-Plane 11. No, so there's only the Magnite 787, and that does.
I call you for defense shortly. Copy that, scale up, 146.
I don't know if that works in X-Plane 12. Does anyone use the Magnite in X-Plane 12? I think last I looked it didn't. Looks quite good.
You can monitor Unicom now, 122.8, enjoy your flight. Alright, going over to Unicom, thanks for your help tonight.
Yeah, it just says X-Plane 11. Update to X-Plane 12 when available. When will that be? That's a shame.
Ready to copy?
777 Worldliner. The VMAX is X-Plane 12 not supported. Ah, dear. So that's the answer there. Magnite 78 is in X-Plane 12 Beta. The only reason I don't know what VMAX 777 is. Yeah, it's the flight factor, I guess. They call it VMAX 777 Pro. I know I heard some good things about it in X-Plane 11, but I've basically uninstalled X-Plane 11 to make room. Unicom Manta 3, thank you very much, Juice. 128. Oh, well, that shows you how short this flight was. In that time, we've managed to go past the top of descent for our straight in. Let's just back that up. We are 80 miles away at 24,000 feet. We are incredibly fast. So, sorry, not fast, high, but you could say both. Down to 100 initially. So I'll start open descent. I'll do manage speed. Actually, I'll select the speed, put it up to 330, and we'll go full speed brake, which is available to us in the 321. Look at that. This wasn't around in the Toliss for a long time, but VLS creeping up as it should do. Really great. We're going to dive down so fast it shouldn't catch us. So yeah, so we've done a sort of a briefing light, as it were. Straight in RLS. Pitch 7.5 degrees, pitch limit 321 that we're landing. Flat full landing, low water brake. And if we go around, we can clean up fully, which is good news. And it's just straight ahead. Get ourselves in. Oh, apparently the Magnite doesn't have custom FNC. No, so okay, so maybe the maybe it's this for the 787. We'll be sticking to Microsoft. There you go, full speed brake out. Look at that, fantastic. And then 777 would be PMDG, I guess, in Microsoft as well. I'm also waiting for the 75 in Microsoft, because I have not successfully got the flight factor one working here, although I believe it does. So that is my problem, not a problem with the flight factor. Rodney says, I would not recommend the Magnite 78, not really high quality and is very slow on updates. Okay, fair enough. Flight Dispatch 320, thank you so much for your $6 tip, $6.21 tip, really appreciate it. Flight Dispatch says, this is for you to buy Barney a pint next time you do a podcast together. Love the pod, keep them coming. The reviews and good words say it all. Yeah, we're getting such good feedback on the podcast. Really, really humbled by that. So thank you all so much. And, oh, there we go. We need 45 miles. We got 65. That was quick. Shows you what you can do. Back to managed speed. Yeah, thank you so much, Flight Dispatch. Thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for those kind words. Yeah, that's what we will. We'll keep at it. Yeah, it's great. I'm really slightly surprised, I suppose, by how well received the podcast has been, which is great. MD-11, yes, that's the one we do need to fly. MD-11, yes. Yeah. Great point. Ah, it's not on sale. Of course it's not. Of course. No problem. That is something I've been meaning to fly. There we go, pretty much straight in from here. This doesn't happen often, does it? We have a tailwind, we got a straight in approach, we got no controller there, and we're all out of line with each other, so we're not causing headaches. Better put that on. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I've got the heavy division mod for the 787 indeed. But thank you again, Flight Dispatch, for the tip. Really, really appreciate it. Flipro says, Flight Factor 7.6 is amazing. It's super fun to fly. Yeah, I agree. I love the Flight Factor 7.5. I just want to get it working in X-Plane 12. This is our dream approach, Flight Dispatch 320. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Coda says, was on a flight into Amsterdam last week and we landed on the Polderbaan. It felt like the pilots used hardly any braking pressure at all as we rolled out nearly to the end of the runway. Yeah. So the long runways in Amsterdam would mean that it's often the case where you want to actually extend that rollout to get yourself closer to the end of the runway, get yourself off in a sensible sort of time. Yeah. Otherwise, if you slow down too early, you'll find yourself sort of sending someone behind you. They might have to go around. Theo says, I have enjoyed the podcast whilst at work. Excellent. Lauren really likes the Mad Dog. There you go. Noah says, which A320 family aircraft is your favourite out of any simulator? That's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I'm very fond of the Toliss 321 for obvious reasons. It's where the channel started. This is not an efficient descent now, by the way. Just demonstrates what you can do. If you fix it early, you can really sort yourself out. So Toliss A321 I like. I actually have a model of this aircraft. I don't know if I've ever shown it to anyone. So behind me is a wooden model of scale, I would say 1 to... It's big. I think it's a bit bigger than 1 to 200 scale. And it's in this exact livery. It's just like this. It's a NEO one, actually. It's got NEO engines. That's the only difference. It has the shark bits. It has the engines. It has the logo on the side. It's great. So I will... maybe I'll find a way to... I'll stick that on the Discord. Maybe I have already, though, to be fair. It's almost worth a video on its own. But yeah, so I like this. I really like the Phoenix. I really like the A320X as a 320 NEO. The new Toliss. Yeah, you're not going to get a good answer me out for that one, I'm afraid. I've got too many Airbuses I like. I've flown them all, and I regularly fly them all, I suppose is the thing to say. So that shows that there's none that I particularly dislike. I haven't used the Flight Factor A320. I did show on the Discord. So there you go. Thanks, 8455. So I can't do that again. Rithvik says the fly-by-wire 380 looks insanely good. Yes, it does indeed. I'm looking forward to that a lot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 777 V2. Alex Van der Pad's agreed. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to head down to an altitude. There's not much terrain, surprise around here. 70 is the lowest we can be here, so we're going to 70. Managed. Just load of theirs. And QNH is 1021 when we get down there. So I've managed to turn a 50-minute flight into a 1 hour 50-minute stream so far. Thank you all for sticking with it. There's through flight 100. We'll get the landing lights on, get the seatbelts on, landing system or landing scales up. Bravo Victor Bravo identified. Did it get the right course yet? 264. Yeah, it gets it eventually. So next I can put in 2000, which is the platform, and just leave it in managed, and then set the QNH 1021. QNH 1021. Then it's restricting us out magenta 7000 because it's planning to level us off at 7 where it can't go below that, which is fair enough. Approach checklists. Let's do briefing, confirmed, decamp status. Checked. Seatbelts are on. Barrier F, we are on QNH 1021. MDADH, we've got 188, and engine mode selector can stay in norm. That's the approach checklist complete. Patrick says, when you fly as a passenger, do you think I could have done that landing better? That is a great question. I'm just writing it down because I'm going to use that on the podcast. That's a really good question. I'm actually going to rip that out so I don't lose it. Yeah, that's a great one. I'm going to talk about that with Barney because I think I'll be interested to hear what Barney thinks on that. But no, you have ones and you go, oof. Like you'll notice whether they're firm or not, and you might think you know, but you can't judge other pilots. You don't have the amount of information. Everything we do as pilots is in such a dynamic sort of situation. Engine anti-ice needs to go on. That it's a very brave person who starts deciding they know what's going on sitting in the back of an aeroplane. That's what I would say for now. But I'm going to take that question and chat about it. Yeah, on the podcast, definitely. James, I'm going to land straight in onto 27. Mythic says, on some checklists for startup it says to turn on the yellow pump. Is that true? Well, I turned on the yellow pump today because we taxied out a single engine. Otherwise, no, you don't need to if you start both engines. Yep. Avgeek Steve says, those colours popped so nicely. I'm glad you like the livery, Avgeek. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Oh, in the murk now, though. And it's going to be like this down to the runway, I suspect. I'm not sure when the next podcast will be released, Patrick. I will endeavour to get it done soonish. Yeah. Trying to keep them about once every 2 weeks. Okay. I'm seeing there's a lot of lag coming from the stream. So just give me 1 second. Okay, this is a sim issue. Interesting. Unusual at 24 frames a second to have that. But yeah, my sim's running fine, but it looks like it's not doing great for you guys. Right. 4,000 feet, 19 miles. Yep, below profile, 250 knots. Decel point coming. So as we pass through the magenta D, it will slow down. Wheels and Vids says, "Hey Sim Pilot, first solo today, and have started my ATPR theory. Long road, but it's been fantastic."
Amsterdam traffic, Springbok 4 on a 6 mile final for runway 36 centre. Amsterdam traffic.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Amsterdam traffic, Manta 3. We are currently Lost it. We are currently 16 miles straight in for runway 27. Now, there's not a particular issue with that because the runways don't actually overlap. 36 centers here. The problem is if we go around and the Springbok is also going around, then they'll be too close. So they wouldn't allow that to happen. They'd sequence these apart. But yeah, there we go. So it's activated the approach phase. Speed's now reducing. Lights are on. Engine anti-ice is on. But yes, congratulations to you, Wheels and Vids, and well done on your first solo. Fantastic moment. Good luck with the ATPL theory. But yeah, really well done on your first solo. You'll never forget that. Fantastic. Nick K says, my gliding instructor always said, never criticize another pilot's mistakes as you could make the next mistake. Yeah, exactly. You're just one step away of doing that exact thing next. Frame rate seems to be working better now. That's good news. Back up to sort of 30. So let's start getting some flap outs. 11 miles out. It's time to slow down. This is the thing with the Airbus's profile. It is quite sporty. 2,500 position makes sense. 2,500 feet on that QNH. So that's sensible. Let's go flap 1. These are the enhanced speeds, by the way, that you get on some nicer 321s. Not all 321s have these speeds. They have the same A320 flat limit speeds, which can make this sort of thing quite challenging. So look, we did this exactly as the Airbus wanted. It's on the Airbus profile, decelerated at the Airbus point, but with that tailwind, it's just not managing. We're 9 miles out. Yeah, gear down. Full speed brake. Listen to that roar. I really like that with the Toliss. Captures that. That's what the gear would be. It would be that noisy up at these speeds. Speed brakes away. And flap 2. Gears down. Arm. Lights. Lights. Here comes the glide slope. .180 knots at 7 miles is sporty, but we are still level. There we are. Love that vapour. Amsterdam traffic, Manta 3, 6 mile final to land, runway 27. Helps if you do that. Lock that through single, glide slope is blue. So let's wind up the altitude, wind down the VS and pull. VS 2300. That's a little bit much. Let's do 1500 for now. Now the question is, let's go flap 3. Not sure we're going to catch that in time. Actually we will, yeah. Flap full. And in the cabin crew. Glide slope star. Put the gear and altitude in. 3000. So speed, glide slope star, lock, cat 3 OP 1+2. And it's becoming stabilized nicely for 1000. Landing sensors, cabin is secured, auto thrust is in speed mode. Going altitude 3000 feet set, ECA memo, landing note blue. Excuses are poor visibility-ish, and we've got 321 CO, which we haven't flown for a while. And it's late at night, can we count that? I think we can count that. Stable. Fantastic news. Right, there's Manta 999. I'm actually not going to take up the autopilot just yet. We've got not much visibility here. I really like X-Plane's low visibility. It was very good on our flight that we did into... where did we land? We landed in the 320 NEO, didn't we? And it was very good then, with the rain and the haze. Amsterdam traffic, Manta 3 landing at runway 27. Right, there we go. 500. Starting to get a clearer picture of the runway.
Flat watching your London Tipal 310D for your about 3 congratulations.
Excellent. Yeah, so autopilot off. Oh, it doesn't. My button isn't assigned correctly. That's bad. Autopilot off.
100 above.
No, it's not worked. both autopilots off. And that's going to keep doing that. That was distracting.
Minimum.
Yeah, and then the glide slope wobbles around.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Idle.
Retard. 10. 5.
Naughty. Using all the touchdown zone. But if you know you're going to do it, long dry runway here, so and we've got spoilers, reverse green, and we are decelerating. Missed that high speed, we'll just take the next one. Yep.
Traffic, Naga 404, fully established, 5.5
Never
miles,
before.
runway 27 approach.
There we go. Forward idle, manual brakes. Toliss is great, isn't it? It just works. The B says floater. Indeed, yes. Part of the problem with the Toliss's default seating, which is here, is I just find it too high. So I have to pan the camera down, and I just think this doesn't feel quite as natural as it could. I'm going to vacate left here, I think.
Springbok 4.
No, I'll just give way here.
Short of Alpha 18 for the
That's the Springbok.
landing Manta.
Thank you very much to the Springbok, and Manta 3 will cross in front into the terminal. We're just going to go on to the next runway. The B says you paid for the whole runway, you use the whole runway. Exactly. Yeah, so that what I did there is not too unreasonable. Let's get the speed brakes in, flaps up, get some APU power running, and we're going over and park. Viper says sometimes I find the Toliss FOV a bit wide. Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. The problem is you sit like that and you can't see the full PFD, so I lower the camera. Sorry about the frames. I mean, that's yeah. Flight Specialist Chief Pilot has priority. Thank you very much. APU up and running. Get the lights off. Done the speed brakes. Get the radar off. Get the transponder. The transponder. Good. Now we'll just park up on the stand. Yeah, so we'll talk about landing in just a moment. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for coming along on the flight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Welcome to Amsterdam. That was one of our most efficient flights ever. Just took us a while to get going. Let's go and take this stand here. Engine goes off. It's not precipitating, as it were. Get the nose lights off. Slow it down. Round we go. You're only as good as your last excuse. Exactly. Yeah, I can't make excuses now, but I as a genuine observation of the Toliss, that's something I do notice. That the default position, is clearly just a little bit higher, and I could have just done. I think that would be good. Something like that. Which is something I should definitely set up instead of trying to use as an excuse. And this is a bit sporty, understand, 8 knots, no thanks. There we go. Alright, and parking brake set, APU is available, shutting down the engines. We do have a replay coming, of course. There we go, love the generated clank. Seatbelts off. Engines winding down. Beacon off. Jetty would attach. That was not far enough forward, but we are still in the stand. There is obviously there'd normally be a guidance system. And there's our Springbok. And there's Manta 999. Successfully here. Excellent. Thank you all so much for flying along. And there's Naga 404 as well. Excellent. Thank you for flying along. I see James has changed delivery again. Thank you for flying along. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you for watching along. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, we shall have a look at the replay in just a moment. I just let the Naga 404 park up as well. That was our best synchronized arrival ever. There we go. Excellent. Thanks, Piano Learner. Thanks for coming along. Glad you enjoyed it, Nick. Frankfurt ATC did an amazing job. Agreed. Christopher's just on approaching to Gatwick. Excellent. Thanks, Christopher. So, thank you to those of you flying along. I'm going to disconnect and we'll have a look at the replay. Now, this is a little bit fragile in X-Plane 12 still. It does occasionally crash, so we shall see how it goes. So, golf course. So yeah, if you sit high, and I have seen this in simulators of, the full size simulators that we use for training. If you're sitting high, and I noticed it myself, it's much harder to judge the flare, and the temptation would be to flare high. It's amazing how a few inches of what the pilot's used to and their eye height can cause this. Anyway, so that was a high flare, which was there, which is not too bad. So probably normally want to touch down somewhere here, and we're now extending it into the later part of the touchdown zone. But by this point, I'm confident that we are going to touch down in the touchdown zone. So that's why I said I was being a bit cheeky, because I just kept flaring. Now, the other reason I could keep flaring was I knew that the pitch wasn't too extreme. We hadn't come in slow, and you can see there 5-6 degrees. We've got till 7.5 degrees. So, it's just where I found myself, and nothing wrong with it. If everything else is fine, the reasons you wouldn't want to do this, if you're performance limited, shorter runway, flooded runway, things like that, tailwinds, and also you wouldn't want to do it if you're, let's say you're trying for an exit is probably, you can do, trying for exit is too hard, it's not worth it really. But if you're not confident you're going to make it in the touchdown zone, then you wouldn't do that. You could probably just bin it, frankly. What you could do is if you know everything's safe and everything's fine, otherwise you might. So the alternative here was that around this point I could just not lower the nose, but release a little bit of the back pressure and just let the airplane settle down onto the runway, which I've done on many streams before. But this time I didn't have to, and you can see here I actually keep pulling. Just a little bit of an insight into what I was thinking there. And this is what can happen with the real aircraft as well. You don't want to extend the flare. That's very bad, because you're at high risk of a tail strike. You want to use proper technique. And this is what happened today. Went into the flare, found ourselves a little bit high, which can happen in the real world, either for technique or wind or anything like that. But as we float along, it comes down to you and your experience as a pilot to think, well, am I still going to be okay for the touchdown zone, or should I just land it? And there we go. Made it down. Bit late on that drift correction. Would have been better a little bit earlier. I think we landed slightly crabbed there. Yeah, slightly pointing up to the right. That's the hardest sort of amount of crab to get right. When it's a tiny bit, it's much harder. A strong crosswind, much easier to judge that sort of thing. It's funny. Yeah. But there we go. And that's why we missed our first hit, number 2, by quite some margin. Excellent. Right. Love the replay tool in X-Plane. Could talk about it all day. Let me put us on a wing view. I think probably that one today. That looks pretty good. Let me put us back on approach. Thank you, Flight Dispatch, for yet another $6.21 tip. Really appreciate it. Flight Dispatch says, thank you for your great stream and for a fun fly along. As always, also for bringing back the IEs. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Flight Dispatch. Enjoy your weekend. I hope work treats you well. Thank you so much for flying along. And thank you, of course, for your very kind super chats. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Let's put it a bit further forward, actually. Yeah, I'm impressed with the weather in X-Plane 12. It's been twice now in these sort of murky conditions. It's done well. But yeah, thank you so much. And now it's time to say thank you. So, in all seriousness, thank you to everyone who's watched along and been a part of the channel over the last 3 years, and that includes even if you just showed up today for the first time. It's really appreciated that I get to spend my time chatting and talking airplanes with you all. It's an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much for coming along to the channel and being a part of that. Again, thank you to the moderators as well for nurturing the community to be what it is and to make it such a friendly and welcoming place. And I really can't thank them enough for the hard work they put in. That's over the years now of looking after everyone. It's really, really, really appreciated how hard the moderators have worked and the ideas they've had and the effort they've put in to keeping this a nice place for everyone to be. Thank you, of course, for the incredibly kind donations, and again, Flight Dispatch for that tip just there. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone. We've had lots and lots of very generous tips today. Really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. More to come. Like I say, the channel is going to carry on. It's changed over the 3 years, the sort of focus and how we've done things on the channel and how many videos and streams I can do, but I fully intend to keep doing them. So yeah, we've got, and like I say, the podcast, really enjoying. So there'll be plenty more of that, as well as other videos and of course streams. So all I can say now is thank you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting. If you did enjoy on YouTube, do please leave a like. If you do enjoy the podcast, do please recommend it to someone. The podcast really does rely on that for its sort of spread. It doesn't work in the same way. I don't have any YouTube algorithms that I can rely on for that one. So yeah, that's really appreciated. But yeah, thank you all so much, and we will see you all in another video or live stream in the near future, or podcast indeed. So do please keep safe and well. I can't say enough, but thank you all again, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.